Chapter 37, Marco. Ah! I don't think in the entire history of planet Earth that any gorilla has ever plummeted through the night from a height of 2 miles. So it was a first for both of us. I was spinning wildly down through the cold night air. Far below me, way too far below me, I saw streetlights, and car lights, and neon store lights. And right beside me, almost all around me, clouds. I was a 400-pound gorilla who had just decided to go skydiving without a parachute. Ah! Marco, why are you screaming? It hurts my head. We're gonna die, you alien lunatic. No, we won't die. Don't be foolish, Axe said. Maybe you won't. You're a flea. You'll bounce. I'll hit the ground like a rock. Marco, morph into a bird. Oh, duh, I said, feeling a little foolish. Is there time? I don't know. Maybe we should hurry, Axe said in his annoyingly calm Andalite way. Now, the problem we had was a simple one. You can't morph from one animal to another. You have to return to your natural form first. So I had to become human, and then I could morph into a bird. A minute later, we were no longer a gorilla and a flea falling. Now we were a human and an Andalite falling. And now the ground was no longer way too far below us. Now it was way too close. Ah! I yelled. Ah! Axe screamed in thought speak. I felt relieved that at least he was screaming now too. But mostly I was busy noticing that I could make out individual houses, ringed by faint light. I could see individual car headlights and taillights. And I could see the mall parking lot, which was almost empty except for a crew painting new stripes on the blacktop. Ah! I focused as hard as I could. I had long ago morphed an osprey. That's a type of hawk. It's mostly dark gray-brown with a sort of mottled white underside and a dark beak. It's a cool bird. But you know what? Right at that moment, I didn't care what kind of bird I became, as long as it had wings. Grow wings, grow! I yelled, as the wind screaming past my face blew the words right out of my mouth. Feathers began to form on my skin. I felt myself shrink. I felt my bones grow light, hollow. I could hear a grinding sound as the bones of my skull scrunched down to hold a much smaller brain. Too slow. Way too slow. I could see people now. The guys working in the mall parking lot. I could see people. And I was still falling. There's no way I can morph in time. No time. The ground. It was going to hit me. It was jumping up to hit me. I could see one of the work crew look up at me. I could see his eyes. I spread my arms wide. No, not arms. Wings. Wings. Swoosh. The wind snapped my wings back, straining every muscle, and I blew at 90 miles an hour just inches off the freshly painted blacktop. Yeah! I yelled. I glanced left. Axe was right beside me in his own Harrier morph. That was exciting, Axe said. Yes, it was. Let's never ever do that again. Ever, Axe agreed. Chapter 38, Jake. We spent a bad night, Cassie and Rachel and I. Cassie and I went to our homes. Rachel spent the night at Cassie's house, because otherwise she'd have to explain to her mom why she wasn't at gymnastics camp. Rachel was still shaky, but her memory was almost all the way back to normal. I figured the best thing for her would be to spend some time with Cassie. As for me, I dragged myself home at almost midnight. There was no question. I was grounded. I didn't even argue. No TV, no Sega. Inside the house by 5 o'clock. Wash all the dishes, take out all the trash for 2 weeks. And oh, by the way, clean out the garage. I didn't say anything but yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and I'm really sorry I worried you. Then I went up to my room and tried not to imagine what Visser 3 was doing to Axe and Marco. I've never felt so tired and so bad. I fell asleep in my clothes, face down on my unmade bed. We were beaten. That's what I fell asleep thinking. We were done. The dust monster would be back. We had survived, most of us, but we would never be able to morph safely. We Animorphs were finished. The battle was done. Nothing now stood between the Yeerks and complete control of Earth. And you know what? That thought just made me feel relieved. I was too tired to fight. Too tired. The next thing I knew, booga booga booga. What? I sat up, spun around, twisting myself up in my sheets, then promptly fell out of my bed. Marco laughed so hard he started crying. How did you get here? I demanded. Then, you're alive? No, I'm the ghost of Marco. Fear me. What time is it? Like 10 in the morning, Marco said. He went to the window and opened the blinds. I recoiled from the bright sunlight. Cassie said the Vliet carried you away. Yes, it did. And now we're going steady. Look, get with it. Wake up, fearless leader. We're all alive and waiting for you to come and lead the counterattack. Counterattack? I glanced at the door. Don't worry, Marco said. Tom's out. I checked. I can't go anywhere, I said. I'm so busted for coming in late. Yeah. I talked to your dad on my way up. He mentioned that little fact. He said if you clean the garage, you can go out for a little while. It seemed very important to him. Like maybe if you clean the garage, he would be the happiest guy in the world. Sure, why not? My mom has been after him for a month to clean the garage. So now he gets to dump it off on me. Why wouldn't he be happy? You gonna help me? Me? Help clean the garage? As if. I smiled. I'm glad you're not dead, Marco. Me too. Get everyone together. Give me 3 hours to deal with the garage. We'll meet at the edge of the woods. No one morphs. Got that? No one morphs. Chapter 39. Cassie. I can't believe you guys were doing all of this while I was sleeping, Tobias raged. Playing tag with some dust monster from Saturn, Rachel having amnesia till Marco plowed into her with a truck, escaping from Visser 3's blade ship, and I'm sleeping the entire time? No way. I missed out on all the fun. You're the only one who can't morph, Jake said matter-of-factly. So the Vliet isn't interested. Lucky you. It's the morphing that this Vliet goes after, Marco said, grinning his taunting grin. It, or they, I should say, eat energy. So it's not interested in your deep-fried hawk legs. Come stand over here, Marco, Tobias said. Stand under my branch. Everyone laughed, except me. I hadn't slept much. It wasn't the dream this time. It was the memory. The dream had become real. And what sleep I had was broken by images of myself, scared and shivering, while the Vliet hovered above us and finally dove on Marco. I didn't like that memory. I don't mind being scared. We're all scared. But I didn't like knowing that I had kept myself safe at Marco's expense. There was only one word for a person who would do that. Coward. I didn't like that word. It twisted inside of me. Okay, here's what we know, Jake said. 1. The Vliet is sort of an insect swarm. The individual particles spread out till they sense a type of energy they can eat. And then they all swarm together. The swarm forms into this beast that chews through anything. 2. Visser 3 has altered this creature to serve his own purpose. Yes, Axe said. It's fairly simple, really. The Yeerks reprogrammed the beast to hunt for morph energy, but to eat a different kind of energy. The power of their spacecraft engines. Rachel nodded. Like a trained hunting dog. A hunting dog chases the fox or whatever, but only because its master will give it food of a different kind. The Vliet chased morph energy, brought the morph to its master, then was rewarded with energy from the ships. Exactly, Jake said. The Vliet is Visser 3's dog. And unfortunately, it is awesome. Maybe unbeatable. No, I said quietly. Not unbeatable. It couldn't lift Rachel when she was an elephant morph. She was too heavy. It has limits. Also, on board the blade ship, the Yeerks use water to control the Vliet. Everyone was looking at me now. Jake said, So what do we do with this information? I have a plan, I said. I took a deep breath. But I have one condition. I have to be the one who does it. I told them my plan. Cassie, this is beyond dangerous, Jake said when I was done. Why should you do it? Because... I looked at Marco and met his gaze. I let the Vliet take Marco. I could have morphed. I could have drawn it to me. I let it take Marco. Marco smiled wryly. Cassie, it's no big deal. Here I am, fine and healthy, and as cute as ever. That's not the point, I said. I was a coward. Rachel rolled her eyes. Good grief. Cassie, you have been in every fight we've been in. You are the farthest thing in the world from being a coward. Easy for you to say, Xena Warrior Princess. What? Don't you remember? That's what Marco calls you. Rachel made a face. I guess there are still 1 or 2 holes in my memory. She looked suspiciously at Marco. Do I like it when you call me that, or do I kick your butt? Nice try, Rachel, but you can't distract me. I'm doing this, I said flatly. It's my plan. I'm doing it. Cassie, Jake said, pleading with his eyes. I took his hand in mine and gave it a squeeze. You know it's a good plan, Jake, and you know I'm the person to do it. It's a new morph with no chance to try it out first, and I'm the best morpher. No one said anything. I could see worry in Jake's eyes. Rachel put her hand on my shoulder. All right, Jake said heavily. Let's go to the beach.